All right, what's going on, Bulls Nation? So, as we know, Zach LaVine is out for the season, so that means no trade for the Bulls. But I wonder, is this the Bulls doing this, or is it Klutch? We're going to talk about this right after this.
This is your home for all things Chicago Bulls. Join the conversation. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So, Zach LaVine is injured, according to him in his camp, and maybe the Bulls as well. But I can't help to wonder, right? Like, what is the severity of this injury? And if this was a year or two ago, I wouldn't doubt it, right? You never want to doubt a player. But this player is the same player who kind of gave up on us in the beginning of the season. And it's so evident. And not only that, there's always that doubt because he is with Klutch, that this might be a Klutch play. There's rumors, speculations, and conspiracy theories here that the moment he heard Detroit is closing in, and let's be honest, no one wants to play for Detroit. That is like the worst case scenario, right? Like that means you're never going to make the playoffs. You will be buried in a place where it's like gulag, basically, of the NBA. No one wants to be there. Your career is going to die. At least on Chicago, you're in a big market. You're in Chicago. You're in the play-in at least. You get some eyes on you. But Detroit, my God. So the moment he heard Detroit, and maybe the Bulls stance is getting lowered, kind of like, hey, you know what? Maybe we won't get Jaden Ivey, right? We're just settled with Bogdanovich. Because the timing is just too convenient for Zach to opt in for a surgery. And the wording on, this entire situation as well is that it seems like they have an option, but they went to the route that is most extreme, which is surgery to prevent this from happening. Well, first and foremost, he is the one who kind of initiated this trade anyway. But I think the moment they figured out that no one was really a taker with him and his horrible contract, not because of his talent, but because of his contract, and the only options are bad team, and I'm talking about Detroit, perhaps Charlotte, that maybe him and his camp decided, you know what, we're not going there, we're better off with the Bulls. But I think the Bulls kind of have made up their mind that we are going to trade you regardless. And their play now is to play this injury card. And normally I wouldn't doubt a player, but I doubt Klutch. Because this is the same agency that dealt with a Ben Simmons situation, where Ben didn't want to report the Sixers and just wanted to be traded. And Quasi, at this point, kind of faked an injury back then to a point where he got fined over and over and over because he refused to play, and they never got that money back. I know they argued to the Players Association, but they never did. I think he got fined well over 3 or 5 million or something like that. It's a huge amount because he decided to sit down because he's claiming he does have an injury. Now, in this case, it could also well be that the Bulls just doesn't want to give up Zach for pennies on a dollar. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. That they decided, hey, you know what? The fan base is going to just kill us if we don't trade Zach. Because, let's be honest, Zach is just, it doesn't make a difference. Like last night we lost against the Kings. I can't definitively say that, hey, if Zach was playing for us that night, we would have won. I can't say that. So with that being said, he doesn't have any value for this team whatsoever. With that being said, what does it, like, who initiated this? I think it's a little bit of both. Like, Zach doesn't want to go to Detroit, and perhaps the Bulls doesn't like Detroit's offer anyway. So they decided, you know what? Let's say you're injured. We're going to revisit this, request next year. We're not going anywhere anyways. We're stuck here in the 9th seed. Like, anything that we do would not make a difference between now and at the end of the season. Let's see if we can get at least a young player for you, maybe next year, next season, or maybe this off season. And then we'll go from there. Because right now, if the Bulls hold on to him, the front office is just going to be destroyed by the media and by the fan base. But in this case, their hands are tied. No one wants to take Zach. the blunt, and then there's defenders of Zach as well. The media, you know, like there's medias out there, of course, going to be like, hey, you know what? No one's going to want an injury just to avoid a trade. Well, Ben Simmons did it. And even now, it's like there's always something wrong about Ben Simmons. I don't know, man. The guy's unplayable. Zach is turning out to be that way now. If he's untradeable 4 months ago, he's going to be even more. I don't even know what the name is now. So he should learn how to play for the Bulls. Otherwise, because he's not going to get traded. He's not going to get traded in the offseason. He needs to prove himself again at the beginning of next season. And hopefully somebody is desperate enough to absorb that massive contract that the Bulls handed to him. He better change his stance. He better change his stance that he wants to play for the Bulls now, because otherwise he is going nowhere. So, but I do hope that this is more Bulls, because I've lost complete respect for him and this Klutch organization, because they're known for doing this. They have a track record for, you know, kind of just, I don't know, man, just bullying teams into trading for one of their guys, or just getting the max that, you know, like Zach doesn't deserve. So moving forward, if I was the Bulls, I'll be cautioned to get one of their players, because this is what you have to deal with after the fact. You saw it with Lonzo Ball as well, you know, holding off with his surgery up until February because he wants to be in California. So this might be a cautionary tale for the Bulls to, before they sign any player, you know, look how much they're going to give him and how much power they want to give this player. Even the trade, 15% trade kicker for the Bulls, you know. So I hope it's a little bit of both agreement here that they decided to do this. Otherwise, I really don't want to see Zach in a Bulls uniform ever again, to be quite honest with you. If you have to ask me, I think this is the work of Klutch. This is Klutch's idea, because they do not want to go to Detroit. Do I blame them for not wanting to go to Detroit? No, but man, it sucked for the fan base. It sucked for the Bulls. And I don't really care about Zach and Klutch. They already got the money, so he will get no sympathy for me about his injury, about his wanting to play, because he didn't want to play in the beginning. It's not like he's this beacon of light for basketball that, hey, he wants just to hoop. No, he didn't want to hoop with the Bulls. So I don't have any sympathy for him. I don't want to see him in a Bulls uniform anymore. But unfortunately, I think I have to look at that next season. But let me know in the comments, Bulls fans, how do you feel about this? And what should the Bulls do next? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.